Some crimes are chaotic. Others are calculated. And then there are those that hide in plain sight, disguised as something ordinary. On a quiet January morning in San Antonio, a young woman arrived at work like she had countless times before. She was trusted. She was responsible. And she was planning for a future devoted to healing animals and helping others. She never made it out alive. What first appeared to be a routine robbery would slowly unravel into something far darker. A crime fueled by familiarity, betrayal, and violence that no one saw coming. For months, investigators chased the wrong leads, questioned the wrong people, and watched the case slip further from their grasp. Until one phone call changed everything. This is the story of Amber Bellulin, a life marked by compassion, a death shrouded in deception, and the long, painful search for justice that followed.
Crime Tracker.
Amber Bellulin's life was defined by compassion, ambition, and promise. But on an ordinary January morning, her future was violently cut short, inside the very place she worked, by someone she trusted. Amber Bellulin was born on December 6, 1981, in San Antonio, Texas. She grew up as an only child, surrounded by constant care and attention from her parents. From an early age, one thing stood out: Amber had an extraordinary love for animals. She brought home stray cats, dogs, turtles, frogs. Anything that needed care. That compassion would shape her dreams. As Amber grew older, she became determined to pursue a career in veterinary medicine. After graduating from high school, she planned to attend college but decided first to save money. She took a job at a video game store, where her reliability and work ethic quickly set her apart. Within a short time, she was promoted to store manager. She held that role for several years, and in 2007, at the age of 25, Amber finally enrolled in veterinary classes. On January 29, Amber was scheduled to open the store for her shift. She typically arrived early, an hour before opening, to prepare the store and take the previous day's cash to the bank. But that morning, she never arrived. As time passed and the store remained closed, management grew concerned. Calls to Amber went unanswered. Even the store's landline rang endlessly. Management contacted a nearby branch and asked an employee named Giovanni to check on the situation. When he arrived, the store was dark. The doors were locked. The lights were off. Peering through the windows, he saw nothing unusual and left, reporting back that everything appeared normal. Hours later, with still no word from Amber, Giovanni was asked to return. This time, something was different. Inside the locked store, he saw another employee, Brandon. Once inside, the scene was chaotic. Merchandise was scattered across the floor. The cash register was open, money strewn across the counter. It looked like a robbery. But Brandon's calm demeanor was unsettling. When Giovanni entered the manager's office, he made a horrifying discovery. Amber's body lay on the floor, a plastic bag tightly pulled over her head. Police arrived quickly and confirmed the victim was Amber Bellulin. At first glance, the scene suggested a robbery gone wrong. Cash was missing. The safe had been emptied. Amber's car was parked outside, unlocked, with her phone left inside. Investigators noted that electronics and game discs worth thousands of dollars were also missing. The medical examiner determined that Amber died from asphyxiation. A plastic bag had been held over her head for several minutes. Evidence showed she fought desperately to survive. Her hands had been bound with duct tape at some point, though it appeared the restraints were removed after her death. As investigators pieced together the timeline, troubling questions emerged. Amber had likely been attacked almost immediately after entering the store. The level of violence did not align with a typical robbery. Strangulation is personal. And the killer appeared to know the store well, entering through a rear alley door indistinguishable from neighboring businesses. Attention turned to Brandon, the employee found inside the locked store. Amber had reportedly complained about him multiple times and was preparing to submit a formal complaint that very morning. He had motive. He had access. But searches of his home, car, and phone revealed nothing. His phone records placed him miles away at the time of the murder. Despite his suspicious behavior, Brandon's alibi was airtight. He was ruled out. Amber's boyfriend was also investigated and cleared. Once again, investigators were left with no answers. Police held a press conference with Amber's parents and announced a $100,000 reward. Tips poured in, but none led anywhere. Months passed. The case grew colder. Doubt crept in. Would Amber's killer ever be found? 7 months later, everything changed. An anonymous caller contacted police, claiming someone had confessed to killing Amber. That person was not Brandon. It was Giovanni, the same employee who had checked the store that morning. Detectives questioned Giovanni, but he denied everything. There was no physical evidence tying him to the crime. The district attorney refused to press charges based on testimony alone. Once again, investigators hit a wall. After police collected Giovanni's DNA, he abruptly moved his family to Laredo, near the Mexican border. To investigators, this was a glaring red flag. But without concrete evidence, they could not stop him. 18 months after Amber's murder, police received a call from Giovanni's wife, Veronica. She told them that her husband had confessed to killing Amber. She also revealed years of abuse, control, violence, and sexual assault. Fear had kept her silent. When Veronica confronted Giovanni and threatened to leave with the children, he assaulted her at gunpoint. In a chilling moment, he handed her the gun and told her to shoot him. She refused and survived. The next day, she went to the police. Giovanni fled to Mexico, but was eventually located and arrested just miles from the U.S. border. In a cruel twist, he was found playing one of the stolen video games. He was extradited under the condition that the death penalty be removed. Giovanni accepted a plea deal, life in prison, with the possibility of parole after 30 years. His account of the murder was inconsistent and incomplete. Some details of Amber's final moments may never be known. Amber's parents vowed to fight against any future parole. Brandon, the man once suspected, eventually rebuilt his life. Years later, he would be recognized for saving a young girl from drowning, a final reminder of how suspicion can haunt the innocent. Amber Bellulin's life ended in tragedy. But her story exposed the dangers of misplaced trust, domestic violence, and delayed justice. And while her killer is behind bars, the questions her case raised still linger.
Crime Tracker.